weakest of a culture and make them look like the strongest, and have the sheep follow to maintain your power. You perpetuate the weakest of a culture and make them look like the strongest, and have the sheep follow, and you'll always keep them down. You take the dominant culture and you say to them, all right, these individuals are getting an education, they're developing pride, they're coming out with dignity, they're looking out for their mothers, their sisters, their wives, their girlfriends. We have to do something about that. That's too good. We don't want them to understand the value of those kinds of things, those kind of actions. So we have to use our propaganda to point these guys as rebel rousers and these individuals as heroes. So if you look at who is put in front of the black community, it's usually those athletes who have nothing to say. To maintain your power, like the great Jim Brown just said, which is absolutely true. First, we want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, double honors to the apostles, elders of Great Millstone. Salutation to all the brothers and the few sisters out there. That's just like foreigners, from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, from one in Hebrew, which means peace. And we all are very aware of this thing that he speaks of, and they called it a name, and that name, it was given, I would say, I just found out about it, was it 2-3 years ago, called Black Excellency. And part of this Black Excellency, damn, I wish I had got the stuff. Hold on. Yeah. Black Excellency comes with a course. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Slovakia. Fair use, fair use, fair use. This is for educational purposes, but this episode, this scenery speak volume. All right, when it came out, it was hilarious, but there was a lot of truth to it. Okay, and let it play a little bit.
Welcome to BET headquarters. I'm Deborah Level. It's 2 p.m., so it's time for a morning staff meeting. Our leader, Bob Johnson, had a dream of creating a network that would accomplish what hundreds of years of slavery, Jim Crow, and malt liquor couldn't. The destruction of black people!
Now, this is one of the episodes that it came out publicly, but it got a lot of slack. Because here it is, you have other black people, all right, just planning the destruction of black people. And this episode was profound, right? It was a profound performance. So I'm gonna let it play a little bit. Something else that she said.
Is that so hard?
Mr. Level, since BET came into existence, terrible things have happened to black people. Dropout rates, teen pregnancy, unemployment, and incarceration have skyrocketed since our debut 25 years ago. We really believe we're making a difference.
The destruction of black people is not happening fast enough. The other day I saw 3 niggas reading books. One of them was smiling.
She said, I see black people reading books, and one of them was smiling. So that was the point I wanted to get. But that was like Jim Brown was saying. So in this quote unquote black culture, this black excellency is a mantra of making money, all right? Taking the less of the lowest of the low and put it prominent up. And this is exactly what Esau did. And then these less of people, right, come in the form of celebrities. There was a time when you had to have talent in order to influence people. Now you don't need to have it. You don't need to have talent per se to sing, dance, or any of that to be up in the public view. You could just go out there and do podcasts or personal. There's one of the guys, this clown. I'm just I ain't gonna look it up, but Anton
Anton Daniels, and not only Anton Daniels, you got what's this guy's name? Other nigga. Well, all these other niggas that quote unquote like they're like black excellency, right? They make their own money. They have the influences and everything that come out their mouth. It's not like golden to the majority of people because they bring out points. But I realized too, you have this whole manosphere movement. That shit is dying out. So those that was talking about relationships and how the black woman has failed, so to speak, have failed black men in the community. That shit is running out of steam because real life situations are taking place. So they took, the people that you look at their success and you're like, oh, this is how to be, right? And people follow that trend. They follow those individuals, but not realizing these people that you're following, they are part of the problem as well. All right, real quick, Isaiah 3 and 12, I believe. As for my people, children are their oppressors, right? Doesn't mean that the children out of their loins. No, the people that's less than them are their oppressors. So the Lord did a number on his people. It says, and women rule over them. So women not supposed to be ruling no household. All right. That's what's wrong with the quote unquote black community. The matriarch system, which never failed. No, which never works. And is not natural for people that's supposed to be lions to be run by a matriarch. All right. That's why you think hyenas and lions can't get along because they're not mortal enemies. So here it is. They put women in the forefront as the heads of as the heads of the family, and all she does is create emotional damage children that become so emotional they will go out there and kill their own people. All right, and this is what's happening to this day, to this moment, because there's no father in the household, which is a whole nother subject. All right, it says, "Oh my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy thy way of thy paths." So our people are being misled. All right. Matter of fact, Jeremiah 50 and about 6 or 7. That's not a 6. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds, their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away unto mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place because they don't know. They don't have a clue what's going on. They don't know anything, nor do they consider. So what did Esau did? He brought the worst of the worst to our people and gave the people false hope. I had this where 22 and what? Sirach 22 and oh yeah, 11. Weep for the dead, for they have lost light, and weep for the fool, for he wanteth understanding. Make little weeping for the dead, for he's at rest, but the life of the fool is worse than death. And that's our people. They're a bunch of fools, and it is worse than death. They're spiritually dead. And the scriptures tell you about okay, let me see if I can remember. 20, 24? Ah. We'll just get it. Congregation. Proverbs 21:16. The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. So our people are spiritually dead because the people that's leading them astray. You got people that's leading you to um, get businesses and find opportunity in this society to make it, so forth, which sounds good, which really sounds good. I'm not gonna hold them, but a lot of those people that got those riches, they didn't get them riches on their own accord, but yet they want to judge a person how to get their riches, right? And the people that they keep constantly misleading, they're not telling them who they are. The problem with our people, they don't have a clue who they are. So you have pastors and preachers that'll tell you you're everything under the sun but a child of God, an Israelite, okay, and you being misled at all times. So these people are remaining in the congregation of the dead. That's why it says in Revelation 11:8, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. It's not talking about physical dead, it's spiritually dead. Our people are spiritually dead. How many times they have no breath of life in them. And they follow dead people. All right. Scripture says, well, if the blind lead the blind, they both fall in a ditch. So a lot of people is being led by the blind. Right? You have a lot of call them again, Judas goats. The Judas goats pretends to be he about to get slaughtered, but at the end he moves, and all the other goats that follow get slaughtered, and that's what's happened. So what these people did, these elites, they propped up celebrities, the lowest of the low amongst the people, to mislead the people. Acts 17:5. But the Jews which believed not, moved with envy, took unto them certain lewd fellows of the baser sort, and gathered a company, and set all the cities on an uproar, as assaulting the house of Jason, and sought to bring them out to the people. So they consistently uses the lowest of the low. Like if you see these rappers, I was looking at a video. It was a rapper called Big L out here in New York. He's a known street nigga. All right. He got some skills and everything like that. Well, I'm looking at him, he was young. And the nigga look like he mad innocent. But if you hear the shit that he used to do, you're like, what the fuck? But this is the people that they put this is what they put in front of us. Like, yo, you gotta envy this guy or that guy, the Tupacs, the Biggies, and you know, you gotta look at to these guys and be like this person. All right. For you women, you gotta shake your ass. You gotta do like this woman did. And they put in the forefront. The movie they cloned Tyrone. They show you that. What was the main scene that? Well, there's a lot of main scenes though. Let me see if I could get that. Da, 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 da. Not the chicken scene. Let me see. I'll be right back. All right, I can't find that scene that I wanted, but there was a scene in here. There's a lot of scenes in here to be quite frank. Um, when the man came, when I mean the man, the so-called white man came, and this is after they find out, I don't know, Tyrone got cloned, and there was a scene where it was broken down. Like they invested a lot onto Tyrone, and the other guy, which was a pimp, was Jamie Foxx's character. And he told to the woman, like, you're nothing but a dime a dozen. Like, you're nothing. You're nobody. And that's how they look at the women of our nation. Like, you're nothing. We can infiltrate you. We don't need you. We can find another woman to do what. But as for these guys, we put time and effort because they have the greater influence to the people. So they tell you in films, they tell you what they plan to do. They make sure they keep you down, they put certain people on top of you so you can look up to, but they just slack, yeah. Let me finish this off. Let me get a couple of scriptures. All right, so they use you, they use the lowest of us um to influence us. All right, they influence our decisions. This is why I said Psalm 64, the 64th chapter. Let me get that real quick and then get the other ones and then that's it. Psalm 64 and 6. Hey, that's why you don't get rewarded for being the smart one in the room, or doing well at school and of that sort. Everybody knows this. You don't get praise to be indoctrinated, but you get praise to be rebellious, to be a outlaw, a thug. I'm sorry, gangster, outlaw, gangster, hoodlum, a thug. That was going for a while. To be savage, and now the form today is YN. You'd be highly rewarded to be that way because society rewards you. Well, now they ain't rewarding them clowns no more. They killing them. But the whole plan was for to infiltrate the minds of the people. Okay, that was the whole plan, to keep you sinning against your heavenly Father, keep you in a dead state. And a lot of people fell for that. Psalm 64 and 5. They encourage themselves in the evil matter. They commune of laying snares. Privately they say, "Who shall see them?" Talking about Esau Edom. All right. They search out iniquities, which is sin. Search out iniquities, meaning they did their homework. They did it. They look into things. What makes you excited? To study you. The whole movie, they clone Tyrone, is them knowing your culture before you even know your culture. If you're young, remember the bishops was talking about years ago about this guy that created. He didn't create it. Sorry, he stole it. But damn, he died. He was supposed to have wrote Good Times, right? So the real guy, or Jake, he wrote about his projects in Chicago, but this guy turned around and flipped it and came up with all these ideas. So if you watch Good Times, I mean, it may be old for a lot of young cats out there, but it's a good show to watch. The first season, the father and the mother, everybody was together, and they end up killing off the father. Right now, I seen another clip. I forgot. I don't know this guy's name, but he brought up a good thing because I seen a movie Claudia or Claudia or Claudine, whatever. But didn't know that was actually a TV show before that. Before they made the movie, it was about a single black woman, which was unheard of at the time that it came out. So this is how they get people. They put in their mind to the women. So our mothers, our grandmothers, whatever. You don't need a man. Then it raised up children, which there's a clip, 1980s clip of a whole bunch of young women, and it was being questioned by Edomite. I'm not gonna get it. And they asked, would you marry your baby's father? And a lot of them said no. But it wasn't real. It was some of them was paid actors to say that. It was easy to influence everybody in the room. I think it was like one woman was like she was conflicted, but the whole narrative is they could be single by themselves and push this whole idea to be a single mother. All right, which back then was really unheard of. That was like a curse. That was a reproach. So they opened those flavors into the minds of the people. So now you have ratchet behavior, ratchet culture, okay, which is stemmed from a degenerate culture for a long period of time. And they feed into the the human side, the pleasure. And you get rewarded for for your pleasures. So they did search out iniquity, know how to get to people. They know what you like. They even like going back to that movie, they cloned Tyrone. Then went to a chicken spot. All right. Oh, even Dolomite. No, Black Dynamite. And there was a scene about the commercial with the malt liquor and the chicken. The same thing. There was a chicken spot in Clone Tyrone, and he was like, it's in the chicken. It's in the chicken. So they study you. They know you. They know you very well. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thoughts of every one of them, and their heart is deep. But the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. So that black culture bullshit that kept Jake in a docile state, he's about to overthrow it. That's why a lot of people they tired of hip hop. They tired of the same shit. All right, they tired of certain things. Is the spells are not working no longer. This is why this man has no other choice but to show his horn. He's gonna put people back in place one way or another. That's how he want it to be known. So there's a real war going out there for every man and woman's mind. Okay, and the devil is not playing fair. The devil is being a devil. So with that being said, let's see if I get one more. Since I'm in the neighborhood, Psalms 50. Always got to bring this out because despite what's been in play, despite all the shit, they're taking out the less of us and put them on top, make us and so forth. There's there's a light behind everything. In other words, you have true spiritual warriors out there that is looked upon to be admired to follow, and that's the spirit of the Lord. Matter of fact, Jeremiah 3 and 16, or was it 15? 15. And I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you from knowledge and understanding. And that starts with the apostles of GMS. All right. Men that's dedicated to the truth. That's who you're supposed to. The scripture says, mark ye the perfect men. These are the men you're supposed to be looking at that doesn't get um, persuaded or sell out to this wicked society. That's the threat to this society. This is why what's this guy's name? FBI, the head of the FBI made a statement. J. Edgar Hoover, how he wants to stop the Black Messiah. All right, they want to control it because they know if the people woke up to who they are and the right leaders was there to be there, that's a threat to their society. Okay, so what they is a threat is true because the people will wake up from that docile state, and once they do wake up, It's over for them. All right. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just go to this. I'm gonna end it off on this one instead. And there's nothing that they can do about it because it's not of man, it's of the Most High. Revelation 11 and 10 to the point. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice. I'm sorry, 11:11. After 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them. So the spirit came on a certain particular man, which his name is Abba Bivens, after a 350-year period of Esau ruling unchallenged, really unchallenged. Okay, during this time was the 1960s, where people were really standing out for themselves. That's why it's consistently looked upon as a great awakening that took place. Okay, you had the civil rights, a lot of laws that was taking place. Many leaders were taken out because they were a threat. But unbeknownst to Esau, amongst all these different organizations that they infiltrated, there was one avenue of truth that was going to come that they could not, no matter what they did, could not infiltrate. And it says, the spirit of life entered into them, and they stood upon their feet. Standing on what feet? Standing up on the truth. All right? That's what Wisdom of Solomon said, that just stand on a great boldness, as such of him that afflicted him. Roughly paraphrasing, I'm not going to get it. Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, 1. All right? And the great boldness is to tell these people that they're going down. All right? That's the great boldness. And it says, stood upon their feet, and a great fear fell upon them which saw them. So they feared the true leaders that they can't corrupt, right? They fear that. Like I did a show, even this guy David Banner, he said a black revolutionary is broke, but if you're a racist, you're rich. It's an ass backwards society. But the the black revolutionary or the revolutionary is enriched with the spirit of the Lord, which is far better than earthly riches. Okay? Because we're standing upon something that this cannot be taken any longer. We got what um has been missing. Okay, and they can't take that from us. It says, they stood upon their and great fear fell upon them which saw them, which is the other nations, our enemies. They see us out there. So with that being said, shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.